And reading letterboxd reviews for the Iron Claw, you'll see a lot of 4 to 5-star reviews right out of the gate. Most of them are completely within reason. One film logging member of the cinephile social media community, Kenzie Vanunu, mentions, "The Iron Claw is Little Women for boys." A statement has never been more accurate about this A24 drama, which is about the Von Erich brothers, known by many in the world of professional wrestling. The Iron Claw feels like a slice of American melancholy right out of the gate. The imagery and set design are perfectly ripped out of the pages of wrestling magazines of the late 1970s and early 1980s. From the opening moments, you can tell this will be quite a father-son tragedy. And to further that, you feel the true nature of masculinity woven throughout the film, even in the first 5 minutes when Zac Efron, who plays Kevin Von Erich, goes out for a run and looks to be in the absolute best shape of his life. Kevin is clearly the favorite in the eyes of his father. Fritz Von Erich played Holt McCallany, but as Fritz says at breakfast one day, the rankings can always change. There's nothing in the Iron Claw's aesthetic that makes the world of wrestling flashy. Because, as we have all seen in films like The Wrestler and documentaries about the likes of Scott Hall and Jake the Snake Roberts, it's far from it. But what you really soak up in a very subtle way is the Von Erich clan and the sort of emptiness they all eventually have in common. They're all believed to be a cursed family, and for anyone who knows the story of the family, there could be some truth to that. The film depicts the 4 brothers, but in reality, there were 6 Von Erich boys. Jack Jr. drowned when he was 6 years old. Another one died from enteritis. There are nods to these tragedies, but the focus is on Kevin's friend David Harris Dickinson, who doesn't have the same physical attributes as Kevin but knows how to cut a promo on the microphone. Kerry, Jeremy Allen White, is an Olympian who joined his brothers in the ring after President Jimmy Carter announced the boycott of Americans in the Summer Games in Moscow. Then there's musician Mike Stanley Simons, who ends up getting in the ring because that is what his dad wants. Director Sean Durkin sets the stage for this tragedy at Dallas Sportatorium. The atmosphere is electric as Fritz does what he can to set all his boys up for success at wrestling events held there. Durkin shoots the matches both in the ring on close-ups and from angles you would only see on an old VHS tape of them. The Von Erich boys are regional wrestling rock stars, but the issue here is that their dad, who didn't go far in his career as a wrestler, projects his own issues onto his boys. And in return, his sons just want to make a never-satisfied father happy. It's almost Shakespearean to see this start to unravel. And it goes a biopic that emotionally charges itself up to how men in society can unravel. Wrestlers are known to have hard lives, but the Von Erich boys seem to have some structure there to prevent that through their family dynamic. This makes the story even more sad to see when these boys begin to lose a grip on any sort of good thing in the world. Lily James shows up in the film as a character who becomes Kevin's wife, Pam. She is a force of goodness in a world of toxic masculinity in this film. She loves her husband dearly and loves him enough to try and shift his focus to the family that he helped create with her rather than the curse he believes plagues him and his brothers. Meanwhile, the bleakness of this movie creeps up on you. Like many American tragedies, it starts out with characters who want to do good. And then the issues that plague us all step in. Zac Efron and Jeremy Allen White deliver tour de force performances that we will be talking about for some time. But the real scene stealer here and a solid fit for a Best Supporting Actor nomination is Holt McCallany as Fritz Von Erich. He may go down as one of the meanest dads in recent film history. He is clearly at fault for his lack of love and empathy for his boys. The Iron Claw as a title is a reference to a brutal move Fritz used on his opponents in the ring and that his boys used as well. It's a firm grip on the crown of the head, crushing the opponent down to the mat. Yeah, wrestling is staged, but there has to be some sort of metaphor here in the sense of their father, who in the ring would never let go of the grapple of the claw too easily. He may have done the same with his kids and kept his grip on their lives so long that he squeezed the life out of them.